When we're looking at multiplying fractions, we can actually almost think of this as the easiest mathematically to complete when we're looking at just the operations of multiplying them. It's probably the hardest to understand when we're trying to understand and explain how to look at this, but if you just trust the math, this is a very, very easy process. If we look at the following example, we've got a half times a quarter. That's what I'm going to look at over here. But first I'm going to think back to 3 times 2. If we look at 3 times 2, we've got 2 groups of 3, or you could have changed this to 3 groups of 2, which is going to be 6. Now, if I look at 1 half, if we look at 1 half, and I break that into quarters. So I've got my 1 half, and then I've times it by a quarter. I've broken it into quarters, and I'm taking one of those quarters, this piece right here. All I'm going to be left with is 1/4 of that 1 half. Now if we look at this, we've had 4 parts on this side and 4 parts on this side. So that's actually going to be 1/8. Okay, looking at this same process we did here. We had 3 groups of 2. Here we had our half, which is colored in red. And then I've made it quarters, and I've taken one of those quarters. So 1/4 of that half is 1/8. Now, if we look at the steps to multiplying fractions, it's actually the easiest one. We change to improper fractions first if we can, multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and reduce. That's all there is to it. So looking at some examples. This first one, we're going to do 8 times 1 and then 4 times 3. We get 8 over 12, which reduces to 2 over 3. Now I'm not going to show you this step every time. I wanted to give you that first one so that you kind of understood what was going on, but all we did was multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom. So here we would do 4 times 1 and 5 times 5 and get 4 over 25. That can't reduce, so that's our final answer. Here we've got 6 over 48, 3 times 2, and 16 times 3. That reduces to 1 over 8. Moving down, we've got 9 times 3, which is 27. 2 times 5 is 10. Here we're changing these from mixed numbers to improper fractions. So we get 14 over 4 and 12 over 5. That's going to become 168 over 20, which reduces down eventually to 42 over 5. You can either divide them both by 4 or by 2 twice. Now if I'm looking at this one, I'm going to show you something. We're going to change to an improper fraction first. I can actually reduce this fraction before if I want to make my multiplication a little bit easier. Because 4 over 8 is the same as 1 half. And now all I'm going to have to do is multiply 24 times 1 and then 2 times 10. And those numbers are a lot smaller and easier to work with, and that reduces down to 6 over 5. Go ahead and try the questions associated with this note.